Writing Freedom, chapter number 2. Charlotte watched from the stable as Mr. Milchard walked up and down in front of the line of boys, beaming. The prospective parents followed him. Now and then they stopped to say a few words to one of the boys, but usually just to the younger ones. Charlotte had stopped lining up a long time ago. She was never considered for adoption anyway. People wanted boys to help with their farms, or a son to carry on the family name, or they wanted some young and cute. Once, when Charlotte had been as cute as they come, a couple came through the kitchen with Mr. Milchard. The wife saw Charlotte standing on a stool washing dishes. Oh, I had been hoping for a girl, but they said there were only boys here, said the woman. She smiled at Charlotte with warm, come home with me eyes. With as much politeness as Charlotte could muster, she said, yes, ma'am, it's boys, except me, except me. And she smiled back at the woman. The woman walked over to her and took her soapy little hand. For an instant, Charlotte hoped beyond hope, but Mr. Boyle marched over and scooped Charlotte in their arms. This here's, this here's my niece, just helping out the kitchen. She ain't for adopting. Come on, Charlotte. Before Charlotte could say a word, Mr. Boyle carried her out the back door and took her to the garden to pick beans. After that, Mr. Boyle hid her in the potato bin each time people came through, for fear of losing her kitchen maid. Charlotte remembered the dark crowd being lying on the lumpy potatoes. She would hear Mr. Mixard saying, and this is the kitchen where Mr. Boyle prepares our meals. She remembered peering through the cracks in the wooden slats and the people who came through. Sometimes Charlotte wants to push open the lid and jump out and yell, I'm here! I would like a home! Me! Take me! But more often than not, Mr. Boyle sat on top of the bin so Charlotte couldn't budge. And Charlotte knew better than to make a peep until the people had gone. Charlotte went back to the horses. What would be point of lining up with the boys anyway? Even though Mr. Boyle couldn't hide her in the potato bin anymore, nobody wanted an almost grown girl. Freedom seemed worse. Bern, however, hovered around her for an hour trying to figure out that was wrong. He just kept shaking his head, and Charlotte got a bad feeling deep inside. Later, as Charlotte served the soup as dinner, any word whispered, we heard something about adopt. Maybe it'll be William. Nah, said Charlotte. We ain't that lucky. Who do you think? Charlotte asked Hay. But Charlotte didn't answer. Any other time he would be as noisy as the rest about who it was. But all she could think out about was freedom. As soon as she finished the dishes, she went back to the stable. She wanted to do something, anything to make freedom better. She sat next to the filly until well after midnight when Bert finally sent her to bed. We won't know nothing till the morning, he said. Reluctantly, Charlotte returned to the room. She tossed all night, anxious for morning, but she knew that she couldn't check on the horse until after breakfast. Will she survive? sweet freedom. She just had to make it. Charlotte tried to hurry through the Sunday morning dishes, but Mr. Boyle would have none of that. Charlotte, don't you be giving those dishes a lick and promise. Just scrub those pans until they are clean. She yelled. Charlotte, through she'd never finished. When she finally bolted out the kitchen door, Horway, Horward, Hayward was waiting at the back step. Let's go to check the freedom, said Charlotte, almost running. Charlotte, wait! I heard, I heard who's been adopted, said Hayward, as he hurried to keep up. Yeah? What? Was it one of the young aunts? No, said Hayward. He stopped right here. He stopped right where he was and waited for Charlotte to turn around and look at him. Well, if it ain't William, I don't really care, said Charlotte. I don't care much about anything right now except freedom. You coming or not? Hayward hesitated. Yeah, I'm coming, he said. They hurried to the barn. Freedom's stall was empty. Bern must have moved her to the small corral to let her get some air, said Charlotte. They hurried and started toward the pasture, but when Charlotte saw Bern walking toward Harry's fair stole it all. The infection got to the best of her. Miss Charlotte. No! Charlotte cleaned her hands. Me and some of older boys buried her behind the south pasture. Been out there all morning. She went real easy in her sleep. There was nothing we could do. Charlotte nodded. She squinted her eyesight. She was a real nice horse, said Bern. Yeah, said Charlotte, but she didn't cry. She never cried. Ain't, ain't no shame in mourning a loss, Miss Charlotte, he said. But Charlotte pretended she had heard him and walked over to stall and called to the stallion. He came over and nuzzled Charlotte's hand. You sure have a way with them horses, said Bert. Charlotte nodded as she stroked the horse's head. You go right ahead and take them stalls if you mind to eat. You you the best stable boy I got, said Bern. Sometimes I don't know what I'd do without you in here tending to these animals. You my right hand in these stables, Mr. Charlotte.